Hi, today I'm going to be talking about gesture, how many gestures you need to do to get some kind of visual memory, among other things. Hi, my name is Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist from the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So I'm part of an art Reddit subreddit, and sometimes there's really good questions in it, and the community answers the questions really in a very interesting way. And I usually don't participate too much because I think that a lot of the answers are really, really great. But in this case, I found that there was this question that made me really want to talk about this because it seems like something that is a little bit more universal than what this guy is struggling with. And I think there's a disconnect in the way this guy is thinking. So I'm going to read to you his question, and then I'm going to answer it via this video. Okay, so here's the question. How many gesture drawings do you have to do before you can reliably draw the figure from imagination? Gesture drawing to me is like fractions in math. I learn it once, feel confident in doing it without help, then I immediately forget it. Right now I've been in an art block for ages and I'm crazy rusty at gesture drawing to a point where I'm stuck drawing floating heads, which makes me feel pretty crappy. Do you ever reach a point where you have drawn so many life drawings from reference that it's just second nature to you? I'd love to reach that point, but it seems like my visual memory just dissolves quickly over time. All right, so there is the notion that there is a certain amount of gesture drawing you got to do to reliably draw figures from your imagination. Yes and no. So first of all, been drawing gesture drawings for 20 years now, right? Like that's so how many before I could even start drawing from my imagination? Zero. I was drawing from my imagination before I learned to do gesture drawing. Okay, so that's part of the thing. Part of the thing is that you think that gesture drawing equals imaginative drawing, and that's not how it works. Okay, so when I was a little kid in elementary school, I used to draw from my head. The drawings were crap, but I drew from my head. And if you look at any little kid that draws, they draw like garbage, but they're drawing from their imagination. And that's how you begin. You begin with crappy drawings, and then you just learn. Okay, so, and I'm going to plug my course here. I have a drawing course that kind of gets into this sort of thing. The very foundations, the ideas, the concepts, the fear, that sort of thing, all that stuff, I take care of it. But in this course, I talk about all the foundational stuff that is required for you just to begin drawing from your imagination. Drawing from your imagination is a little bit different than drawing from observation, but drawing from observation supplements the imaginative stuff. So first, you kind of already need to know a little bit about drawing from imagination. What is it that you're going to put down on paper? So the idea here that you're just drawing floating heads is part of the problem is that there is no first imaginative drawing skill. They are a little bit separate. The drawing from imagination and the drawing from gesture drawing from observation. They're slightly separate skills. They're not exactly the same. Gesture drawing, what you do with gesture drawing is that it helps from when you're drawing from observation and doing gesture drawings. What you're learning to do is you're learning to see reality, right? And then you're learning to push reality so that when you draw from imagination, you assimilate from observation and supplement from observation your imaginative art. So the language that you learn when you're doing observational stuff ends up coming into your imaginative stuff. But you have to already have an imaginative skill set to begin with, which is why there are so many artists who draw weird looking people, because they never do observational drawing. There's a lot of comic book artists who never drew a figure in their life, that draw people that look fake and weird because they're using formulas to learn to draw. They learn by using formulas, and so their stuff doesn't look natural. It's very stylized, etc., but it doesn't look natural because they never did any figure drawing. So you can learn to draw from imagination using formulas alone, but of course your stuff is not going to look as natural as if you didn't supplement it with figure drawing. So that's part of the problem here. So if you're ever stuck with this idea that do you, for example, this question here, do you ever reach a point where you have drawn so many life drawings from reference that it's second nature to you? I'd love to reach that point. Okay, so that's a different thing. Do you ever reach a point where you've drawn so many life drawings from reference that it's just second nature to you? You never get good at drawing figures from observation. Never. You could get more comfortable doing it, but no matter what, figure drawing is going to be difficult. The end. There's always going to be something that's going to throw you for a loop. Whenever you think that you've nailed it, some model gets into a pose that breaks your brain, right? Like no matter what it is, there's always something that the model does that you're not able to figure out, and then you struggle with it. Okay, no matter how many years that I've done figure drawing, I still fail. And if you want to check how it is that I fail, there's plenty of videos that I've recorded of myself drawing figures and drawing heads in 3 minutes and 2 minutes and stuff, where it was just like, boom, failure, ooh, boom, failure, ooh, boom, failure. And I had to redo it and redo it and redo it, because that's just the way it is. It's really, really difficult. This is a different that's the joy of figure drawing, is that you'll never master it. Like no matter how comfortable you become with the process, and and you kind of like, you're very confident about your approach, you will still find that there are things that you just don't nail right away. It says, I'd love to reach that point, but it seems like my visual memory just dissolves quickly over time. That's the problem is, again, you can't rely on figure drawing alone. There are, again, imaginative drawing is a little bit different than observational drawing, and you need the observational drawing in order to understand the formulaic imaginative drawing that you're learning. So there are formulas that you learn for imaginative drawing that you need figure drawing to show you what it is that the formulas represent. So the formulas are abstractions of reality that you're supposed to use in order to solve drawing problems. But figure drawing, what it does is it shows you reality, so that when you're drawing a final line, when you're making final choices on imaginative drawing, you've gone and drawn things from life, and believe it or not, you're going... at first it doesn't seem that that's what's happening, but when you're doing imaginative drawing, your brain will automatically go, it'll go back to some of the poses that you drew in figure drawing, and you go, oh yeah, I remember that in that one pose the model was doing this, and I saw this line here, and this is what it actually looks like in real life. And then you're actually making the final line choices based on your experience figure drawing, but using the formulas that you learned outside of figure drawing. So, and then even in figure drawing, you're kind of applying some of the formulas to your figure drawing while observing the figure. So it's a back and forth. You're going back and forth. So that is my answer to this question. I think there's a misunderstanding when it comes to figure drawing alone, and then I'm just going to be drawing from observation, and it'll just magically assimilate how to draw from imagination. That's not how it works. There is a completely different skill set that you need to learn that supplements the observational stuff, but that works with imagination. So you can just go pure imagination and then have stuff that doesn't look very natural. or you could go figure drawing, which means that you'll always need a model in front of you to be able to draw something, but you'll never be able to draw anything from imagination because you're reliant purely on observational art. Okay, those are two completely different art forms that's how some people get stuck only drawing from observation, and some people get stuck only being able to draw from imagination, and then you go and then there's the people like myself who marry the two, and then we can do both, and then each one complements the other, and then we're getting two different and then it's a fusion of both. So that would be my advice. And thank you so for watching. If this has been helpful, like, subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.